welcome back to the 8th episode of The Lab. Sitting with me here again, Brendan Wierig and Alex Trotter. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about some misconceptions in training. I'll probably let Brandon kind of lead this one off here today. He's already got a little full head of steam on what he wants to talk about. But, I hope you guys enjoyed last week's episode in regards to the, speed round. Again, if you guys have any questions, please send it in to us. We'll probably post another Instagram story poll post just to kind of get a little bit of idea of what else you guys want to know. So, reach out, guys. Let us know. But without further ado, I will let Brandon, take the lead on his first misconception, or I guess you could say nuances of training that he doesn't like.
Mine is easily the speed ladder. It's very
sport specific.
Yeah. It's everything's predetermined. You know what you're going to do. It's very short movement. It's choppy. There's little to zero power output when you do it. So whenever you're talking about from a speed aspect, you want to be fast. You got to be able to put a lot of power into the ground through a large range of motion. You can't just sit there and put your foot in the ground without having a very good foot outside your center of mass, and then having these short, choppy steps, which is basically what speed ladders do. From a rehab standpoint, with Louis here, I try not to use it, but obviously they're great for single leg predetermined jumps, kind of working on getting some of that stability back and things like that. But from an actual speed standpoint, it's not going to make you faster. Mm-hmm. So that's my first one. Yeah.
How many make your footwork better?
Yeah. Over the year, I was pretty much dead set. I'm never having a speed ladder. You get into a wide receiver, which is more of the sport specific style where they do have kind of that quick little jab motion to kind of get a clean release. But I would only say you only need a 2-box or 3-box speed ladder for that, just because that's all the distance you're going to travel. But if you got I don't even know how many boxes are in a speed ladder. 12, 10?
It varies.
Yeah.
You don't need that at all. You don't need to be... It takes too long to learn the icky shuffle, how to do it during a speed ladder, than it is to... by the time you learn that, this session's over.
True.
And that's all you did for an hour. So
how many times did I give you crap when you ranted and raved on the speed ladders, and then you came over, head down, picked up the speed ladder, walked out, and didn't say a word?
He was 5 months post-op ACL.
I know. That's what I was like, all right. I'll let you go. No, I like the speed ladder for certain aspects of training, but I definitely think that it does get more of a bad rep in terms of people are like, you need to do the speed ladder if you're going to be getting faster, and it's like, meh.
You
I don't know about that one.
Too many pros on Instagram reels doing.
Mm-hmm. Easy way to get likes.
Yeah.
The one thing that I have liked using the speed ladder for is I like doing a lot of barefoot training with some of the athletes, because if they do have more of a passive foot or a weaker foot, trying to teach them that how to engage their foot in the ground, using their toes, just start getting a little bit more control. I'll use that speed ladder just to, give them a smaller area to work in, but at the same time, getting the repetition as well.
I should just take away the speed portion name of the thing.
Just call
it's just a ladder.
It's just a ladder.
It's a very flimsy ladder. It's a useless ladder. You can't even climb it.
Yeah.
I want to see you try to climb that ladder. No, okay.
Absolutely not.
Fine. We'll leave it alone.
Do it at Kings Island.
Oh, yeah. The Weeble Wobble ladder?
Yeah.
No, thank you. Dang. I think, anything else you wanted to add on to the ladder?
I think I got my point across.
Okay, point made. Foot down.
What would you say is a misconception from the physical therapy side of things?
I think one of the biggest misconceptions in therapy, actually I think I've seen it more with dry needling, where people will come in and they ask, are we going to be doing dry needling? And it's we can, but that should never be the end all be all. I've had a lot of patients come in.
Agree to disagree.
Oh yeah. I've had a few patients who come in and they're I think I just want to do the dry needling, and you have to explain to them, a lot of the research doesn't support that just dry needling will, bring you to where you need to be. Is it great for pain relief and, restoring certain things? Yeah, it is. But I think that when, you accompany that with, some neuromuscular education and you start, reducing the pain and then teaching people to move again, it's a much better bang for your buck. But there are people who just want to rely on those external tools to take away the pain and then they'll be fine. That I think needs to change because some people put dry needling up on a pedestal. It's an adjunct to treatment, not necessarily just the sole treatment. And that's one of the things that I want people to understand that, yes, I do dry needling, but that's not the only thing I do. There's a lot of weapons in my arsenal. The needling's just one of them. Mm-hmm. In terms of the dry needling with like some of the e-stim, some people are almost even afraid of that when I start bringing up like dry needling with e-stim because they've never heard of it being done with or never had people do that before with them.
I liked it better personally.
Yeah, when I ran
less
that.
Stabbing. Well, I mean, once it's in there, that's going to twitch anyway, so might as well shock it.
No tears.
Yeah.
I should say less tears. Yeah.
Stupid.
No, I think the other thing is that there's like some form of like secret exercise that they're not doing that is going to get you magically better and completely take away pain. And like, 1 or 2 sessions with me and you're going to be right as rain. And it's not how it works. It's about consistency, learning habits, building strength in the right spots, and then relearning to move again. I've had someone who looks me full on in the face and is like, I have to come how long? For how many weeks? And it's like, if this isn't a commitment, I've got a door right there. So, those are just some of the two
There's
things.
One of our athletes. You can go ahead and name drop them if you want.
No, I won't do that. I won't be mean. I won't be mean, even though when I get the deer in headlights look. No.
That's just their face.
Yeah.
They always do that.
We won't mention their name. No. But those are the two biggest things, I think, so far. That, there's not a whole lot of... If you ask someone who has never been to PT before, what do you think a physical therapist does? They're not going to have any idea. Mm-hmm. There's not a whole lot of good information out there yet that's, about PT, what it does. And so that's why I'm trying to, expose that. I'm not a bad guy. Will you probably, cry like Trotter did one day? Yes. Yes. But will you feel better after? Yes. There's a lot. What?
There's a few tears.
But
in my defense, I kept putting it off.
Yeah.
And it just progressively got worse and worse and worse.
It'll fix itself. It'll fix itself. Or one thing I heard was, I was afraid to come to you. And I'm like, why? Like, what are you afraid of? Like, because you're going to tell me to stop doing things. That's like the exact opposite of what I want people to do.
Yeah, that's what I originally thought, though. That was definitely a misconception.
Yeah, the amount of people you have, they go to a certain, PT.
Certain ones,
It's like, okay, he doesn't want me to squat or deadlift or none of this stuff. And it's like, well, how are you supposed to pick up a box or pick up your book bag when you're at school? Or
go sit down on the toilet.
Yeah. It's like, man,
are you serious?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Go pick up your backpack from the ground. Oh, wait, you just did a suitcase deadlift. Mm-hmm. Huh. Funny. Yeah. Okay. Soapbox done. Those are my 3 misconceptions.
Yeah. I would say that's a good one because I definitely fell into that category years ago, and I kept putting it off. It was like Jim Drake. He walked up to me in hybrid, and this is how our whole relationship started. He saw me hurt my pec. This is when I tore it, and he didn't say anything the first time, and then I was trying to do it again, and it just re-popped again. And then, I'm sitting over there, and I'm just bitching, and I'm like, oh, I can't move my arm, blah, 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 this sucks. And he walked over, handed me his card, and that was it. And he just walked away. I was like, what the hell is this dude doing? And then, I just sat on it for, 3 weeks. I was like, no, this will get better. And it just didn't. I tried to, move it. I tried doing bands. I tried tying it up, and I put a knee wrap over it. I was like, all right, I'll go see this dude. And then it worked. I was like, damn it.
That's awesome.
But
I love those stories.
Yeah.
One of my favorites was probably I had a CrossFitter who she hated her last PT. Absolutely hated her last PT. And my very first question was like, well, why did you hate your PT last time? And
it was her ex-boyfriend.
I got a 30-minute, oh my gosh, explanation, which I did not know I was going to get that long of an explanation, about how the PT told her not to go, deadlifting as much weight. She wasn't supposed to be doing as much impact because of her back, so no more double unders. He just kept taking away more and more and more. And so she finally felt like she couldn't do anything, and she was just severely limited.
Yeah.
And so she thought I was going to do the exact same thing, but she had gotten to a place where she was feeling semi-decent. She was just terrified the back was just going to explode again.
Yeah.
And then we kind of changed her mind. I'm like, I'm not going to take away things, but we're going to modify. Like, I never want people to just stop. Stopping is like the wrong answer. You got to learn to modify and adjust. That's the big thing.
Yeah.
I think one other misconception would be when people think they have to do so much less when they are recovering from surgery. Because I've had people who, they're like, yeah, I just had surgery. Either it was an, ACL repair. We'll go with that. I had a patient who had an ACL repair, and they were just weak as all get out. And I'm like, you've been eating? Like, have you been sleeping? Are you drinking? All that stuff. And they're like, well, I've cut back a lot of my calories. And I'm like, okay, how much are you eating? I'm eating about 1,400 calories a day. I was like, what? Like, how are you not the angriest human alive right now? Like, I would be, like, ravenous, like, angry. And we had to have, like, a really long conversation about, like, recovery, rebuilding, and, like, even though you're not, like, moving as much, you still need to be able to, like, take in those things to heal. So, like, if you're not putting in protein, your carbohydrates, the fats, all that stuff, what do you think your body's going to do to try to rebuild itself?
Yeah.
So she was just like
it's going to take from its supply,
just self-starving, and it was horrible. And as soon as she started eating a lot more, it was like a whole new knee. Pain started going down. The aching was pretty much non-existent. She didn't feel as stiff anymore, and I'm like, huh. And that was in like 2 weeks of just changing her diet. I was like, okay, cool. This is fantastic.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's a good one, because I've overheard probably the last like 2 or 3 weeks, like in the gym, more so like the kids like wanting more of an idea of like how many calories to take in, what should they be eating. So then, you tell like a female, very active, that, okay, you need to be taking in probably 2,000 to 2,500 calories. And they're just like mind blown, because they're just like, there's no way. But then, like my wife, Steph, is a great example, because she pretty much eats everything that I do to an extent. I mean, obviously, like, there's like extra protein shakes and shit like that she's obviously not taking in. But like, she's by far the best at it, like way more than I am, as far as like being consistent. Like, she lives off of white rice. It's like, it grosses me out. I can't do it anymore. But like, she eats it, like, she'll literally, if you let her, she'd eat it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner with like whatever else. She loves this stuff.
Dang.
But like, and it's not like she's like skinny, it's like she's like pretty jacked. She's got a lot of muscle mass on her, and I mean, at the end of the day too, she deadlifts just as much, if not more, than most of the boys. Yeah. So
definitely catch them staring.
Yeah.
They're like, oh shit.
Yeah. My favorite is like, I don't tell them who she is. Just
put the fear of God into them.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah, dude, awesome. She transferred from like Texas. I don't know. She's a senior, I think. Yeah, she's homeschooled.
You Jared Goff the kids.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But
cardio and salads aren't going to get you where you want to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's another thing.
Yeah.
Cardio.
Oh, yeah. Everyone thinks that cardio is going to burn the fat off your body.
Yeah.
Hands down, the leanest I've ever been was at 5% body fat. And I hit the track 3 times a week, and I had peanut butter pie after my workout.
Yeah.
What?
You can, like, regulate hormones in a certain way. Like, obviously, when you're exercising, your glucose hormone is increased. Then you put simple sugars in it after a workout. It's going to upregulate that a lot faster. So it's like almost like a natural insulin.
Yeah.
Huh.
Like an insulin spike.
Dang.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's the other thing too, is like, even when believe it or not, when I was at my leanest, it was right around the same probably, and I would maybe do 2 to 3 sessions of cardio like a week, but it was always in some sort of like a high intensity thing. It was like a sprint or like jumps and stuff like that, you know. And I mean, no one likes sitting on a treadmill for an hour. Like, that sucks. You know, you can change things around much easier. You can add reps, you can add sets, you can cut your rest periods down. You know, I mean, if you don't think that like you can't cut a rest period down and it won't make a difference, cut your rest period in half. Go from a minute to 30 seconds and tell me a difference. That'll be the fastest 30 seconds of your life. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you had something.
I had something.
Yeah.
We just saw the eyes of Brandon go back into his head.
Yeah. Cutting reps, adding sets.
It was like you gotta get your RER up, which is basically where what your body's using to burn fuel. So a lot of people are getting that low, steady state where it's burning fat, and people don't really realize how like crazy the human body is. To where if you're burning fat, your body is gonna do whatever it can to like keep that fat, because that's like, okay, this is what it uses for fuel. We're gonna try to just sustain that as much as possible. To where if you can get to that level of pushing your RER, I think it's around 8.5 or 0.85 or up to 9, where your body's making that switch to just burning carbs as fuel. That's where you're going to really start to see the body fat percentage start dropping off.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Keeping your protein intake high. And people don't realize, like, when they go on these, like, low protein diets, like,
stupid as shit.
Your brain is the only thing it uses for fuel is carbs.
Yeah.
Like, that is what your brain runs off of. And if you don't have any carbs in your body, your body's going to take your protein, switch it to a carb, which is very toxic in the body. Like, it takes a process. Yes.
Yeah. It's a whole nother workout that you don't even know that you're doing. It's just doing it on its own.
It's like that fatigue.
It's building ketones up in the body and things like that. And it's...
Yeah,
that's why you feel like shit.
Yeah. Absolutely not. That sounds horrible.
For all you New Year's resolution people out there.
Yeah.
Because it is that time of the year. I mean, I could think in the last
4
days, my DMs have been like shooting up like, hey, I'm ready to get in shape. I'm ready to take it serious. Things like that. I've been doing this, and either there's no structure to the workout, there's no progressions, haven't switched the diet up, or just you've been doing it for 2 weeks, and, well, it takes a while.
I'm not seeing results.
Yeah. It's like it takes like 6 to 8 weeks, or 8 to 12 weeks for you to realize, and 16 weeks for someone else to realize. And
you're the last person to realize it. Maybe.
I thought you were first, and then somebody else.
Fuck, maybe it is. I forget what it is. Yeah, but no. I do remember this stat. It was like 4, 8, 16 like weeks.
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah.
That's too funny. You two go.
But I used to do it all the time. Like as far as that goes, like sticking to at least a program while I was in college, in between the breaks that I would come home, because it was always more than 8 weeks, but less than 16. So then it was like, okay, let me get my parents' opinion, or just like random strangers or friends that I haven't seen like since that last period. Like then you can kind of like just self-evaluate based on like their reactions and stuff. And obviously you want to, not have somebody that just kisses your ass and, oh, hey, I gained 100 pounds in 16 weeks of pure fat, but yeah, you look great. I'm like, no, dude, we're not friends any longer. Like, you're lying to me. There was one that
I do wish there were more dietitians, like, that understood, like, the rigors of, like, sport performance and, like, in this area. I wish we had that more readily, like accessible. I think if, like, we could have that, like, I almost would love to make that more of, like, a prerequisite before, like, anybody started any kind of, like, rehabilitation or any kind of, like, strength and conditioning program. Like, are you willing to get your food in shape first? Because if you're not willing to do that, I mean, half the crap that you need to change is probably in the kitchen.
Shit, 90% of it, probably.
So, yeah.
And just change one thing at a time.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a huge upheaval.
Yeah.
That's what I think people don't understand.
I mean, like, I would say the first thing that I would ask is either A, what do you normally eat for breakfast? Because I ask the kids that a ton.
Yes.
I think that like breakfast at the end of the day needs to be your largest meal because you essentially just came out of it. If you're getting enough sleep, an 8-hour fast. Like, so your body needs all of that food
right away,
and it's gonna digest it faster. Your day's gonna start out better. You're on a high going into work, going into class, whatever it be. But
even if you're losing weight, you still have the rest of the day to burn those calories instead of putting all your meals at dinner time.
Yep. Yeah. And then sleeping, which your body naturally slows down to so you can fall into your REM sleep and everything along those lines.
Which is another big one. Your body doesn't care what time you eat. The whole, don't eat past 8 o'clock thing isn't a thing.
Like, sick, dude, but I woke up at 6 p.m. because I worked third shift.
Yeah.
Doesn't apply any longer. Like,
Body's hungry, make sure you feed it.
Yeah. Water intake is the other one. Like, how much water are you taking? And whatever they say, I automatically cut it in half. Because they're like, oh, at least a gallon.
Not a chance.
There's no fucking way.
Yeah, it's how many times you go to the bathroom today.
Yeah.
There ain't no way.
Yeah.
So you can always tell when I'm starting to get I've been slacking a lot in my water intake, I'll admit it.
Yeah.
But when I get back into it, it's like every 30 minutes I gotta pee.
Yep.
Bladder's not ready for this.
Oh yeah, that first week is miserable.
Yeah. But I notice it a lot. Like if I'm like real busy at work or like we're just doing stuff and we're constant going because I mean we'll go 3-4 hours of just class. Mm-hmm. And we haven't eaten food, we haven't touched water, and then all of a sudden we go to lift, and it's like, oh man, why do my joints hurt?
Everything's achy.
Yeah,
I feel like stone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's really how it makes your muscle fibers fire when you're wanting to, and everybody's like, well, I just feel kind of delayed today. It's like, well,
one of my favorite things is, you ever seen beef jerky?
There was one girl actually that increased her water intake instantly
through fear.
Yep. I'm like, how much water do you drink today? And she's like, listen, I've already had 4 of these. How many Alani's have you had today? Only 1. Lou said my legs gonna look like beef jerky if I keep doing that.
I'm so proud of her. She's doing good.
Another one is supplement wise. If it's illegal, probably not going to get you your results in the way as fast as you want them.
Is there a story with this?
Well, everybody, like, you see like all the ads and stuff and the Instagram posts where you can get like to this figure with this BCA or this style of protein, this style of supplement.
50 pounds to your bench in 3 weeks by taking this pre-workout.
Yeah, things like that. So if you're not buying it from probably some sketchy Chinese website, probably not going to get there.
Yeah. What's another big conception? Oh, I only need to work on speed and vertical. That's a great one.
Yeah.
Completely cut out weight training altogether.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Lifting will make you slow.
Yeah.
I've heard that one.
I've seen that one too.
Lifting won't kill your range of motion either. I mean...
Yeah.
No, I use lifting to improve range of motion.
Yeah.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. Tight hamstrings? RDLs. Mm-hmm. Seriously though. Mm-hmm. Slow, eccentric, RDLs. You want them hammies to lengthen? Do it under load.
And it sure as hell ain't going to stun your growth.
No.
We won't go through that again. I'm not a fan of that one. That one drives me bored.
That was my favorite one too. Because like I think it was my dad that had said something about it, or maybe my mom because she was a nurse too. But yeah, they didn't let me work out until I was like 13, 14.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wasn't allowed. I asked for like a Y membership, and they were like, "No, you can wait till high school." Blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't until like my 8th grade year, like going into freshman year, I went like over the summer, and yeah, I also grew like 6 inches that summer. So
Jesus,
it was a little rough.
Imagine your hips and knees then.
Yeah, very skinny, but yeah.
Well, they say if you like grow like an inch, like every inch you grow is like 2 to 4 months of like coordination delay. So you see some of these kids hit them growth spurts like that. It's like trying to relearn to walk almost.
Oh, like the basketball kid that I train, Like it's almost like watching, in a body aspect of it, it's almost like watching myself, like at 15 years old. I was like, dude, I know how frustrating this is. But like,
yeah.
I mean, if you put yourself back at 15 years old, you thought every adult is just an idiot. They're like, you have no idea what this is like.
You don't know what I'm going through.
No, dude, I was born at 6'3". My poor mother. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, I didn't start like this. I promise. There was multiple growth spurts in there. But, yeah. It's a good one.
I think that's definitely a hard one for kids is when they go through like this really big growth spurt. One of the things I'm starting to see more and more of is like I've had a few patients coming in and like complain of pain throughout like the hips, the knees, the ankles, and I mean we check everything just to make sure it's not like some hideous thing going on, but like growing pains are not a fun thing to go through, but then it's also your body relearning to move as well. That's what sucks. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of curious to see, how you two will eventually handle that when you have little ones of your own, myself included. Because, I mean, think about everything your parents did for you. Think about what you're going to do for your kids. Mm-hmm. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for my kids. Strength coach at school.
Oh, yeah. Be 7.
You're just going to see Brandon in the window just, like, staring in. What are you doing?
Speed coach at school is only going to have ladders.
Oh, my God.
You're just going to make your kids stay on a ladder the whole time. Hopefully they get mortgage genetics, like athletic ability.
Oh, yeah.
Because then they'll at least have a shot.
Give or take, yeah.
Varsity.
What sports did she play?
She played basketball. She was a cheerleader mostly.
Yeah.
She played basketball. I think
that's why she's such a freak athlete. Cheerleading.
Hopefully they have the mindset to warm up before exercising.
Well, if they have her smart,
sounds stupid.
They're set.
Yeah, that's a misconception. You don't need to warm up.
Dynamic warm-ups are important.
Listen.
Yeah, no. If you stay ready, you never have to get ready.
There was actually one thing that was like kind of interesting.
That's your secret.
Yeah.
You're always ready.
Yeah.
It's like you're never gonna if you're in a real world situation, like you get into a fight or you're getting chased by something, like you don't have time to like warm up for that.
Well, I mean, you just can ask nicely.
You just gotta go.
Hold on, give me 5 minutes. I need to get my hip circles in.
Just drop down to the ground, start doing your 90-90s. All right, I'm ready. Let me just take off running this way. You follow me. Ready? We'll give him a show.
That is a good one. That's a good one.
That's my favorite, though. People like go like right to like a 90% or 95% lift. Mm-hmm. Shock the nervous system. Muscle confusion. And then
I'll give you confusion.
Go right into it.
Smack you upside the head.
Which muscle confusion isn't a thing. It's good to switch up your workouts. Like keep everything moving. You have like your solid 6 to 8 core exercises. Kind of change up your accessories and things like that, but you're not confusing your muscles. Mm-mm. My favorite reel was some guys like getting ready to do lat pull downs, and then all of a sudden starts doing calf raises. And they were saying about muscle confusion. That was pretty funny, but yeah, that's not a thing.
No.
And then all the Instagram models and things like that, they sit there and they have their 5-pound dumbbells and they do their 20-minute circuit or whatever it may be with literally 5-pound dumbbells and a thing around their kneecaps all day, and you're not going to achieve that body frame with just that. People don't realize that most models don't work out. They are just genetically gifted, and that's just how it is sometimes.
Yeah.
Genetics play a huge role in everything. You don't use it as an excuse, but it is a huge role.
Yeah. It is. And like, to piggyback off of you there, like, they're always, they never have a bad photo. Like, they never have any tagged photos that, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, they're always posing. They're always in the best lighting. Like, I don't know. I forget.
You're selling. It's a merchandise.
Yeah.
Like, you're literally selling a product.
Yeah.
So if think of it this way: if you had a car on a lot and it looked like a piece of crap, are you going to want to go buy that car?
Mm-hmm.
No,
yeah,
right?
Exactly. But you take it through a car wash, and suddenly it looks good, and somebody's going to pay $1,000 more.
Exactly,
because they took it through a $10 car wash.
It's the exact same thing. They're selling a product; it needs to be done, so you got to make everything look good. I think one thing that I've kind of gotten more used to hearing of, like, I guess you could say training misconceptions would be that I had someone telling me that they had to lift heavy all the time. Mm-hmm. Like all the time. Like 80, 90% every day. Because it was like I'm trying to think, what was it? Oh, I can't remember what it was, like an Olympic weightlifting CrossFit program. I can't remember the guy that created it, but basically he would have people lift heavy as often as possible. And this was like 3 or 4 times in a week. I can't remember who it was. It drove me nuts.
Well, I know like the Soviets used to do that back in the day, because Lou used to talk about it all the time. And he would talk about how like their feature athletes were always like up front and center, but then there was like thousands of like dead bodies in the back behind the shed that like couldn't cut it.
Yeah.
So it's,
you get that one gem out of every other crappy stone,
Yeah.
So that one is just like a really big one, because you're just going to burn yourself out if you're trying to lift heavy all the time.
Yeah.
Not good. No, but, next time we'll get into a few more of the questions, guys. So, subscribe to the page, hit that follow button, and then we'll put up another post so you guys can, let us know what questions you have. But we'll see you guys next time.